Yeah, there's some trouble with the dates on this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is gonna look like this, right? Oh, last year.
Mhm.
Bring this again. Sorry, this, all the wording is last year's December. Yeah.
2024.
24.
Oh, you don't think just the dates are wrong? You think it's actually the wrong?
If you go to the second page and you read the date, it corresponds.
Huh. Huh.
Didn't even notice it was just coming.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened though, because Jane sent her, she said, I still need that one.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
the way it turned out.
Hey, sir. Okay, I've never put up the board.
I have no preference. You like that guy better?
I'll just keep clicking that.
Oh, yeah. I'll keep this one then.
No data here. Yeah.
It's usually up this way. though.
Yeah, you can push forward.
They're usually separated too, right? Don't make any noise, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to read my paper for mine and all.
Got all mutilated about this. Said was sorry.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did it by mistake yesterday because I thought an odd piece of paper by itself on the table last month. So okay, I'll make notes on the back of this. So I just text it, and I turn it over and Justin goes, I think that's his thing for tomorrow night. I'm like, oh.
I think in the mirror.
So then I just wrote sorry on there.
You said sorry.
Yeah,
Just have a sheet come in behind me, she says. "Oh, my
yeah, I know. It happened to be, there he was. I'm like, yeah, I did that. Sorry.
You could have just said Rebecca was here and left it there.
True. I'll do that next time, maybe.
Rebecca ruined your notes.
She-
Yeah, she tried to run off of here.
I had to bust out.
Just because you like me, right? Only because I like you.
You've done nothing for me now. I don't think so. You have to be really bad. I'm pretty easy.
I'm not usually that bad.
Oh, don't you put in your eye. I'll just do it.
No, we're having a party.
Mhm. What thing you think is from? Oh, that's.
March 21st. Nice.
I can't see it.
Too tight, I couldn't get it out. It was too tight, I couldn't get it out even
Well,
when
it's
it
just your paper. We actually went there in a single.
Anything in here that wasn't in the email? Yeah, it's all the same.
Well,
I don't think I ever got the email.
Oh, no, I had looked it up on the website.
yeah,
You're
I had to
right.
look
I
it
looked
up
it
on the website.
website.
We didn't get
Oh, this is new. This is new.
it. Yeah, we did the walkthrough yesterday,
Oh, okay.
and he got the, estimates.
Everybody ready?
Yes, we're streaming. Hang on one second. Okay, now we're. What do you think this is word means? SWIS. It must be all SW, right, is water, but I don't know why it says IS.
All right.
Like to call the March regular town meeting for the town of Hector to order. Please rise to the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Jump to the approval of minutes. Like to note that we will not be approving the December 30th, 2025 minutes tonight. They were overlooked and we planned to approve them. However, the ones that were submitted were the wrong minutes. So we're looking for approval of the January 13th and February 10th.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Right.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Now, we have a number of budget amendments, and I had quite a number of budget journal entries that we need to do. This first page is basically moving money from one place to another to have it in the right place. The way we budgeted some of the reserves, the money ended up in the wrong line, so we need to move it. So we're essentially moving $80,000 for the building reserve, $2,000 from Smith Park Repair Reserve, and the 500 for the Met Park Repair Reserve from 1001 R property taxes to 1001. Even though it looks like it's backwards with accounting, the debit and credit is reversed. So we're moving the money to make sure that they're in the reserve where they're supposed to be from the property tax line. We're also doing that with the $20,000 that we had intended to use from fund balance to provisions for other uses. It's the interest reserve. What happens is, in a couple of cases, we budgeted to use the interest, and instead of the interest needs to be applied to the reserve, not it's living in the normal fund balance. So we want to make sure that the interest actually makes it to the reserve fund that earned the
We
interest.
purposely have to move it
Yes,
into the,
that's what
doesn't automatically do it.
Correct. So that's what we're doing. So we're moving, that's the use of provisions for other uses. It's interest on reserve money. So we're moving it from fund balance to the interest, because right now the interest
You're moving
it's
to the
earned
reserve.
goes into fund balance, and we need it to be, we want the money that we're earning on the reserves to stay
In the reserves.
And same thing for water billing reserves and interest. It's all, we want that money to be in the reserves where it's supposed to be instead of in the fund balances. So for the water, it's $30,000 in reserves that we brought in. And the interest on that 30,000, which is $9,500, for a total of 39,500. You can see there's also the movement for the reserve in highway, which is a very insignificant amount of money because that reserve is next to nothing. That's $50. So that is the budget journal entry. Now, we do also have budget amendments. We are moving, once again, this is moving from where the money was budgeted to where it needs to be. We created a line for our legal representation for the Teamster negotiations, this 1420.41. However, when we budgeted money for the attorney, we put it all on 1420.4. So we're making an effort to keep the money that we're spent on the Teamsters negotiations separate. So we're moving money from our attorney line to the attorney line for the negotiations. So it's A 1420.4, but moving it to A 1420.41. Then the other one is we had a quote last year and the installation of the radios and 2 pieces of equipment came in higher than initially expected. So I'm moving $1,542 from contingent account to a 5680 radio service equipment radio we have. So the radios that we put in the new backhoe and the excavator for whatever reason with it.
In the new truck.
And the new truck, yeah. So
Sure.
those are my budget journal entries and my budget amendments.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll make the motion to approve as so stated.
I'll second the motion.
For the first and a second, there are no further questions. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Carried.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
I second the motion.
We have a first and a second to approve the bills as audited. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Right, it is time for our public comment period. It is 7:05 PM. If you wish to make a public comment, please identify yourself and where you reside. Anybody online, Liz?
I don't see any.
I do have a public comment, but no, it's not public comment. I don't know, it's for the park, so probably the most appropriate when we get to.
We can address that at parks. All right, if there's no public comment, we're gonna close the public comment.
Hang on, there's
period.
one.
Oh, there is, okay.
Christina Hansen says, thank you, Meredith, for including the full payments itemized.
Okay, if there are no further comments, we will close the public comment period at 7:06 PM. And I'm going to move on. We do have a report from our assessor and report from emergency management that we're adding to the agenda. So I'm gonna move on to our assessor.
So last summer, we were notified that ImageMate, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, ImageMate was our parcel viewer where the public could view parcel information, for any town in Schuyler. They were sold to another company, so we had to make a quick decision. We ended up going with GuardPro. It is rolled out, we put it up live on the web, before the end of 2025. If anybody has any issues with it, it's new. We've had some comments that it's not as user friendly. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help. What else? We have submitted our early level of assessment for Hector. I'm sure it's no surprise that we have fallen again in our assessments. We are coming in at 68% in our assessments to market value for this year. Residential, of course, is taking the hardest hit. They were coming in just above 65%. Commercial sales are about 86%, vacant 70%, and utility is 77%. So overall, as a whole, we're at 68% for 2026. And then lastly, we went through a whole entire system upgrade. We were using this really antiquated program called RPS before. We kind of paused our work for the month of February. And went through a whole system upgrade through the state, and we are now in the final steps of signing off on our data. We spent a month reviewing it just to make sure everything transferred over correctly, and we should be signing off on that tomorrow. So we just appreciate everyone's patience. I know we had our hands tied and haven't been maybe as helpful as we were in the past, but again, we put it behind us and moving forward. And just a reminder, we have our meeting with the board and the state. They're coming down on Monday, 10 a.m. They'll be here to meet with you guys. If you have any questions that you would like them to address, please email me by Friday, just so they have a heads up. Obviously, if you have any questions Monday, they can address them then. If you have any ahead of time, you just prefer a heads up.
Monday, when we would be able to arrange with them the public meeting that we discussed?
Yes, so also that's still on hypothetically for June, when all of our snowbirds come back, so we can do a similar thing, a public Q&A for any reassessment questions of the public or concerns that the public may have. So again, if you have any questions, email me hopefully by Friday, so I can pass that information on. That's all I have tonight.
Any questions? Anybody on the board? How do you do at the end of the ag exemptions? When we talked last, you were seeing a slow
So-
response.
We got most of them in. Because of the pause in the work, I have not worked through the whole pile that I have yet, but I think we got a majority of them in without issue. We left some messages that were unanswered, which will happen.
I know you were, when I spoke to you last, you were trying to reach out to anybody you hadn't heard from yet to
Yes,
try
yeah,
and
we
make
were
sure they got
sending
it turned in on
emails
time.
Making every attempt that we possibly could to get a hold of people, for not only ag, that's just a big one, but we have low income senior, disability, all the exemption paperwork was due March 1st, so.
Well,
I'm
thank-
hopeful that we got a great portion of that taken care of, but there's always a few that must have lines.
Thank you for making the effort to reach out to the people
No
that hadn't filed.
Happy to do that.
If there's no more questions, I think you're,
I'm sorry, there's one more question from, is the meeting on, the meeting on Monday can be attended by by the public just without participation? If yes, please let public know time and place. But it is
Monday's not the public.
it's not for the public, but public can attend. They just aren't going to be able to question.
but it's Monday, the 16th at 10 a.m. here in this room.
Yes,
And because we're a quorum, it's of course a public meeting
yep.
and anyone is welcome to attend, but the intention is for the assessor to speak to us.
New York State to educate us specifically, and then there will be a follow-up one that is for the public to be here and asking questions. And we'll probably do that. We don't have a date and time set, but we'll probably be doing that at one of the fire halls, or we can accommodate additional people to our board meeting here if not. All right, thank you, Jessica. All right, you're on now.
Hope mine's that easy. I got a few things I'll pass out here and share with you a little bit. Just so, kind of put some things.
Thank you.
You're very welcome to make it better to understand. You know, sorry, it's not very easy. Judge, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come up again this evening and thank the Hector board for hearing some of the things we have going on at the Emergency Management Office in regards to renumbering of structures. As you know, I've met with you a few times last fall, and then at the behest of the board and the request of the board, I should say, we kind of kicked the can a little bit because we wanted to get closer to when the Snowbirds were returning. The weather was getting a little nicer. We didn't want to do stuff in the middle of the winter, so I'm looking to reinvent the wheel a little bit today and get started on where we left off back then. As you know, what brings us here today, as I've spoken about before, is the state and the federal government essentially working towards statewide next gen 911. That's what this whole thing is about, is working towards next generation 911. To achieve next generation 911, there are several core data sets that are required to achieve the next gen 911. There are addressing points, road center lines, the things we have to work on, public safety and answering point boundaries, provisioning boundaries. That's where roads go from one county to another. Either they touch end to end or they run parallel with each other, such as Seneca Road. That's called provisioning boundaries. And then emergency services boundaries, basically the areas that a service may cover based upon a contract with a town. So they're all things that are all part of this in order to get us to next gen 911. One of the things we're running into, and I've kind of put together a little bit of renaming and readdressing of Seneca Lake roads in Hector. Now, I put that in Hector because I'm here this evening. This is happening on every town that has a lake road. So I'm just starting here. Why am I starting here? I think that's important to start. I give a report monthly to the Schuyler County Legislature, and I talked to Jessica quite a few times, and I actually had the pleasure of working with Jessica quite closely for some time, and she chose to bail, but that's a whole different story. During that time, Schuyler County put 96 new residents in last year in Schuyler County, which is good for the county, taxpayers, and all that stuff. The unique thing about the 96 new residents in Schuyler County last year, 70 plus of those were in the town of Hector. Hector's growing in leaps and bounds that don't even, there's no apples and oranges to the rest of the county and what's happening up here, which is affecting our numbering system greatly. I've already this year, was just saying to you today, in the last 6 weeks, I've picked up 4 new house numbers for the town of Hector. Shumway Road, Cherry Landing, and Nichols Road. I have 2 going, 2 on Nichols, 1 on Cherry Landing, and 1 on Shumway. So, warm weather's coming. It's already starting back up where we left off last year. So we have to make some changes. And some of the mapping, you look in front of you, is just to bring a little bit of reality to what I'm talking about, so you'll kind of understand a little bit. If you look at Nichols Road, I can't explain why, I can't explain what history has done. I can only talk about what I don't perceive has been done right, and we have to make changes. And so I'm here to try to make those changes happen. For whatever reason, the town of Hector lake roads were numbered backwards for every other town, every other road in the county. And I'm not sure why. They were numbered from the lake to 414 instead of 414 to the lake. The way every other road in the county is numbered off the main thoroughfare based upon a grid system. So I'm not sure why that happened, but irregardless, we need to fix that. So the fix is to number off 414. If you look at the very first one I created for you is Nichols Road. If you look at the numbers, I bring this to your attention because this is where the problem originally started. A gentleman came to see us on Nichols Road, was putting new homes in, 2 new homes for his family. And he bought the property in front of 4903 Nichols Road, which is the Thiel residence. He bought that large lot in front that you can see there. If you notice, the number for Thiel is 4903, the home for Thiel. And if you notice down below at the bottom of Nichols Road is 4901. I have nowhere in between to give somebody new numbers to have a home. It was never planned for. We've outgrown what the numbering system was designed.
There's never any alpha. There's never any characters in there like a
Never, no.
A and B and C.
Well, there is
and D.
it's apartment complex.
Okay.
They're reserved
Yeah.
for apartment complexes,
But not-
yes.
yeah.
Not everybody. So, what happens, it's easy to try to explain it, back in the 50s. These were dirt roads down to the lake. Somebody had a fishing camp at the bottom. That's what they were. No, I don't think anybody, when they designed the numbering system for the roads back in those days, thought about the expansion and the growth that was going to happen in Schuyler County and or the town of Hector. I don't think it was ever planned on. And I can look at this and tell you it was never planned on. Right now, house numbers change every 35 feet. was the design of Schuyler County. So every 35 feet, you go from 4901 to 4903 or 4905. And so every 35 feet, if you're on the odd side of the road. And the same on the even side, it'd be 4902, 4904, 4906, every 35 feet. That also is not a good number anymore, or a good way to do houses. Number one, it's not the standard across the state. Number two, it's not working because of the growth. So what we propose to do and what we're gonna do in this new way of working with fire numbers, we're gonna go to every 10 feet. So every 10 feet, there'll be a number, not every 35 feet. So what that's gonna do for me is it makes the math pretty simple. 528 houses, 5,280 feet in a mile. I can put 528 houses by number every mile. Now, that'll probably never happen. Nobody's ever gonna build a house 10 feet. But what it does for me is when somebody on Nichols Road decides to sell a 50-acre parcel and we build La Brigade 2, I'm just being hypothetical, but something like that occurs, I need all those numbers. So that's how I can get to those numbers, is by planning ahead. So we never have to reinvent this, or somebody doesn't have to sit here 30 years from now and explain to you why I screwed it up and we have to fix it again. So we're trying to plan for the future development, or the potential for more future development. So that's a snapshot of Nichols Road today. If you flip to the next one, that's a snapshot of what the new numbering system on Nichols Road would potentially look like. You'd start out at the very top, numbering from 414 to the lake, the way it should have been done originally, starting out with 38 Nichols Road. So if you notice, if you jump back, right now, he's at 4923 Nichols Road or 4860 Nichols Road. They're gonna go to 38 110 Nichols Road. So all that numbers are gonna change. The other thing is real problematic with the current system as it stands is next gen 911 can only pinpoint based upon GPS navigational locations. And how that has to work is every spur, every road has to be named. You can't. So right now, when you drive down Nichols Road, both of those spurs are Nichols Road. The GPS doesn't concern between the two of them. So we have to have like Nichols Road and maybe like Nichols Road North or North Nichols Road, just naming the spur, adding a name to it. That differentiates it from Nichols Road. So then the GPS coordinates will plot on a structure. You call 911 from standing in the middle of the road, you call 911 from a structure. I can pinpoint within 15 feet of where you're standing. I can even tell you what level of the house you're on, whether you're on the basement, first floor, second floor. If you're laying in the attic, I can tell that the 911 call taker knows that information based upon next gen 911, but it has to be based upon your location and the road that you're on. These roads aren't named. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. The little notes at the bottom, excuse me, that's my scribbling, but it's just redesigning the road a little bit on Nichols Road. Because as you can see, that bottom spur down the lake is really just a sliver of a roadway that they use to get their boats down to the lake with a tractor. And the road doesn't actually go down there for houses. It takes that hard right-hand turn with the marker that you see. That's where Lee Titus and Yanko and a couple other Stevenson live. So we're going to redesign the road in the GPS system so it shows the true bend in the road to go into those houses and not that sliver going down to the lake that really doesn't exist for the purposes of residential or emergency services. If you go to the next one, I bring this to your example because as I just said yesterday or the day before, we have a housing request for Cherry Landing. And I've blacked out an area there that you can see. This is where somebody wants to build a home. So they're putting a new home on Cherry Landing. This is also on your paperwork if you go to Cherry Landing Road. The other thing I brought to your attention is that whole road is Cherry Landing. So it doesn't matter if you're on the far south spur of Cherry Landing, or on the far north spur, it's all Cherry Landing. Every road is Cherry Landing. The only way you find most of these residences, you go down to the first intersection, there's usually a totem pole there with like, you've all German lake roads in the town of Hector's like a totem pole there with like 9 different signs. If you want to see the Smiths, the Valleys, you go this way or go that way. And that's how you find these people. 911 doesn't discern that. They have to be pinpointed on a residence on a road. So that's why these changes need to happen. So in this particular thing, maybe Cherry Landing goes straight down, that middle red spur. Maybe the south spur be Cherry Landing South. Maybe it's Cherry Landing North. then we'll have to figure out what the other spurs going down the hill towards 4704. These are things, and I'm gonna work with the people. I want people to be happy about this. I'm not gonna force any road names on them. My goal would be to use a north, south, east, west type spur. But if people, if it comes to points where they have to name their driveway, I want to work with the residents. I want them to name something that's important to them. What, that would reflect the roadway, the commitment they have to their land, their property, their values, their beliefs, whatever it may be. We'll work with them to make that happen. As I explained on the front, we're not gonna allow profanity or do things that confuse with other road names or anything like that, but we could, have a little fun with naming a few roads to, well.
Yeah, so just because these spur roads come off Cherry Landing, they don't have to be called Cherry Landing.
They do not. No, I'm willing to work with people. We can name them. We can make changes if we want. The reason I was saying the north, south, the
Yeah.
east spurs, the reason I was saying that is for emergency services, the simplistic animals that we are. When they get dispatched to Cherry Landing, they know the road. Now they just know they need to look for the north spur, the south spur, the west spur, and they'd be named, but they know the road.
Mhm.
So if they, I renamed the road here a few weeks ago up in the town of Reading. It doesn't matter, but the guy, my point is, it's Deer Lick Lane. That's what he wanted to name his road. That's his out to his 500, 600 feet driveway out to his house, and that's what he wanted to name it. And that's fine. It's appropriate. It's not offensive in any way. But for Burdett Fire Department or Hector Fire Department to find Deer Lick Lane, that's a little problematic. Now dispatchers know exactly where it's at. We can direct you there. But if they know it's North Cherry Landing, they already know they're going to Cherry Landing, they just go to the North Spur. So that's why I'm trying to lean people towards that derelict, because it makes sense to everybody, emergency services wise.
Just a quick question for you.
Absolutely.
So maybe I'm confused, but from the standpoint. You add in these additional spurs, everybody wants to build a house, they added spurs. Off Cherry Landing, for instance. That means that is an official road at that point in time, or is it just a name of a
The
road?
name of their private road, all those
Private
roads, that's
road.
correct. They're nothing maintained by the town.
Obligation of maintenance.
Absolutely not. They're still private driveways.
And
I
he's
think the
mostly
only
talking
thing
about,
road is-
they exist now. They're just labeled
Yeah,
like
I
a
just
crazy
want to
way.
understand what the.
They,
package of the-
so those red lines you see exist now as driveways or laneways to people's property. So at the start of every one of those, for example, if you took the one that goes to far north.
Okay.
That would start at that intersection would be 0 again.
Okay.
So it'd be 0 North Cherry Landing Road. We'll just use that as an
Okay.
example talking today. Then it'd be 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right up through. And then, because what you don't know today is if this person here decides to sell 30 acres and you have another house and you have another house. So we have to plan for those fire numbers ahead of time so we can be prepared for the construction that may happen in the future.
Yeah,
Because
I just wanted to understand
No,
the impact, potential impact.
please ask all the questions and maybe it'll make me think of something I'm forgetting. So please ask questions. But that is, all these roads are already existing. We just have to put names on these roads.
Yeah.
And most guide roads are like this, unfortunately. Having picked on Jess just a little bit, I will say how helpful she has been in her process, and I'll thank you being in front of everybody. She lives on your last one, if you go to Leidenfrost Adams Road. Or we'll go to the other sign that says Adams Leidenfrost Road. It's not even the same sign, but it's the same road. It's kind of weird. But we'll have to figure that out. But if you take a look at that road and see all those spurs that all have 3, 4, 5 houses, not one of them is named. That whole entire thing you see there is Adams Leidenfrost Road. The only way you find somebody on that road is by finding the right telephone pole that has the right arrow pointing in the right direction. And that does not work for emergency services. Back in the day, the days when emergency services were flourishing and things were really good, and you called Hector Fire Department to go to Adams Leidenfrost Road, and you would say, go to such and such a residence, probably half the fire department knew exactly who lived there. Them days are over. Them days are ending. Most of your ambulance services are coming from 15 miles away. They're people we hire from God knows where, the paramedics. They come in and work a 36-hour shift. You never see them again. They have nothing to do with this county. They don't assimilate with the county. They don't know the people. They come, they work, and they go home. Their home could be from Meyer to Hornell. And so it becomes problematic because they can't find this place because they don't know what the Steve Williams or the Mike Hicks of the world knew. That, oh, I know Stan, he lives right there in that house. Go down, take your first right, turn by the oak tree, and he's down there on the left. I mean, you knew these things inherently. Those days are not here anymore. So we're trying to make those changes. We anticipate from what I've done computer wise, without driving every single road, which I am starting to do, that there's gonna be approximately 586 residents that have to change their fire doors. On the cottage roads, and about 32 new named roads in the town of Hector. Because of this growth. The one thing we didn't budget for, and we didn't talk about this soon enough, is signs. Highway always makes the signs. I have spoke to my legislature, I've taken that step already, spoke to my county administrator about using some 911 reserves that I have to help purchase those signs, because it shouldn't be your, your responsibility to purchase signs, I don't feel at this point. I mean, we're making the changes, I made the decisions, and so I'm trying not to pass those costs on, so.
Great.
I'm looking for, this is just a brief summary of these maps. I would hope that you would probably digest this and come up with some questions. I'd like to get back on the agenda again next month, but I would also like to bring a couple more people with me. I'd like to put something up as a presentation. Is there a way to do that
Yeah,
here?
we have a screen, and if you have a projector or something.
Oh, okay, but laptop with a
Yep.
HDMI cable for it or anything, or?
It needs a projector.
Okay, all right, we'll figure out
I
something.
think, do we have? Oh, we're in the game.
I need a TV hanging there with HDMI cable.
I believe we have a projector, but I'll find that.
Oh, okay.
We can talk between.
So, as I put on the very front page, I done just a brief synopsis of the changes we want to make. And how we want to make those, and I want to work with the landowners to give them the option and name something if it so fits. I want to start having some public meetings. I've already spoken to, Olivia has speaking to the Burdette Fire Chief and the Hector Fire Chief both. They're more than gracious, welcome. So I would look for the town of Hector to assist me in some advertising for that. I think after next month's meeting, I would like to set some dates, working with you to do that. I think we should do that in consortium with each other.
Yep.
And, the other thing I would ask to do that, you think about this month, my office is open, I'm always on my office, if my office phone doesn't catch me in my office, it rings to my cell phone. Call, ask any questions you need to ask, I'll put together some questions, if we have those, much like the assessor's office, I'd email them to me, talk to me, call me, I'll prepare the answers for all those questions as we come up again on another month. I'll be looking for you to do some type of a resolution that says that you support this, and you know why we're doing it for emergency services. We're not just doing this because we want to disrupt 500 people's lives. I did some research. I'll send letters to everybody that was affected by this, because I'm not trying to leave the responsibility on you, but we've done some research. It's like people are saying, well, what about my deed? What about my house? Well, luckily that is done off your property identification numbers. It's not going to affect your deed in any way. Changing your address doesn't mean you have to go change your deed or change any of this. It doesn't affect that in any way. We're hoping that of these 586 residents, they haven't been pinpointed yet, maybe half of those are better are seasonal residents. Maybe they don't even get down here. So that's going to affect them even less. Maybe, and of the other half, maybe a quarter of them have mailbox or post office boxes. They don't get mail at their houses. So that's going to affect them even less. But there is some changes that some people are going to have to make. And we're going to put together a detailed list of reminding people of the things they need to look at. Maybe it's a driver's license. Maybe it's a pistol permit. Maybe it's your visa to travel overseas, but there is some changes people have to make. And we're gonna work on putting that list together and bring it to your board meeting next month. But I would ask you to read this over. I would be glad to come here any day of the week. If somebody wants to meet and ask a bunch of questions, I'll drive up here any day and meet with you. Just call and give me a time and a date and I'll be here. If I can't be, somebody will be here that can answer the exact same questions. There's a reason why. But any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Heck of a job.
I do. I'm going to make a lot of enemies, but I think it's important to know that we're starting here only because of the growth here. It's something that needs to be done. But we're leaving here and go straight to the town of Reading and do the same pony show over there, and they're going to be presented with the same problem. So we're only picking on Hector just because, as I met with Justin a while ago, and Jessica, the growth is so overwhelming here compared to the rest of the county that it needs to happen.
Thank you, Curtis.
Okay,
Thanks very
thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Sustainability.
Thank you.
far as the Hector Homegrown campaign, I sent you guys a static map of all of our vendors. We have 21. This also exists as a Google map, which is dynamic, and that will be put on our Hector Homegrown Facebook page. And we'll be reaching out to vendors to put some things on this site, information about what they sell and what their hours are and that sort of thing. Hector Watershed Forum is coming up on May 20th at the Hector Fire Company. And we have somebody from Seneca Pure Waters that's going to come and talk to us about harmful aquatic blooms. We have a flyer. They just put one out front. We'll be passing them out to people, provide information. What we're gonna be talking. It's an hour, Hector Fire Company, all about ads.
You have a digital copy of that? Can you send that to me on the website?
Who's the location? Hector Fire Company.
And it is on the, if you click on the minutes, the packet for today, it's in there.
Oh, yeah.
So you might be able to just
I just grabbed that.
grab it.
It was in minute, right? The Mecklenburg Pollinator Garden, I'll talk a little bit and maybe Nina wants to add something. We had a really good meeting a little over a week ago, and I was really impressed with the group of volunteers in Mecklenburg. They're a really awesome group of people. They picked a location for the garden, and we went out that day and kind of flagged it out. They have a woman who actually is a landscape architect who's done the designing. She's come up with plant species, spring species, fall species, summer species. She's done an awesome job. She knows where to find plants to get better deals on things. So she's a real asset, I would say. And I was going to discuss with you, I think the best way to access the $700 that the town has is for somebody on this committee to buy things and then come here and get reimbursed. Does that make sense? Okay,
And the woman who's, do you mind if I jump in?
go right ahead.
The woman who has designed, this is her profession, Laura Gardner is her name. She has accepted that responsibility, that she will personally purchase, and then I guess one of us with the park will
Present it with us and
Yeah.
run it through. In an ideal world, it, would be a clump of receipts, not.
Yeah. And it's $350 for the town, correct? And $350 from.
700, the 700 should be in a single account, I believe.
Yeah, we have the balance for the sustainability committee.
350 from the sustainability committee, 350 from sustainable payloads.
I have to look and see if we ever received payment from sustainable.
You did,
We did, okay,
I have a receipt, I brought it over to Jamie,
okay,
hopefully it's in there.
it'll be in there then.
Anything else on that, Mia? I mean, I'm still impressed with what you guys are doing.
Not really, other than, I was gonna mention that in our, in my little bit of talk, but yeah, we had a meeting on February 7th, which was like the coldest day of the 2026 season, and we still had like 11 people show up. It was incredible, and the fire department's been amazing at being available to us, and then our last meeting was February 22nd. Our next meeting is actually March 22nd, it's gonna be at the park if the weather is permitting, so come join us, a lot of fun, 12:30. If not at the park, it's gonna be at Laura's house, but I will send an email. If you want information on that, I'm gonna leave a little bit early today, but my email's around.
And I did notice that Sustainable Finger Lakes has another request for proposals out right now with the due date of April 1st. And I had wanted to request money for signs for Hector Homegrown, but I think there's just not enough time for me to get that put together, because I think we need more than $700. I want to think about that, and then we'll probably submit something the next round, which should be in 6 months. And then the only other thing I wanted to say is I wanted to acknowledge, we have a consultant that helps our committee, so that we don't think that we're all doing this by ourselves. Her name's Liv, and she's with the Southern Tier Central Regional Planning Group. And they operate under the auspices and with money from DEC. So her job is to help communities like ours do sustainable things. So a lot of the things that you might see, like flyers and maps, she's instrumental in helping us with that. And that's all I have. The swap meet, we're gonna be looking to do that again with the dumpster ban in conjunction with, which I think she'll talk about later. And that's it.
right, thank you. Gonna move on to the highway department.
Highway departments. We've been hauling in stone. For stone and oil, STs. Been hauling in crush and run for the soft spots in the roads. Plow and sand is needed. We put our new screen together. It'd be nice if we didn't have to use it till next fall, but I'm afraid next week we're gonna have to. We got all our 8-ton signs up and our May 1st seasonal roads up.
We need to pass the
For
resolution
the
to,
spring, and we needed to pass a resolution for that, I believe, correct?
yes. So the resolution is we're gonna. Extend we need to extend it, 'cause right now it's
April 1st.
April 1st, we wanna extend the seasonal posting till May 1st, correct?
Yes.
I would make that resolution.
I'll second that
The
resolution.
first and a second,
With, just for clarity, so that you're shortening we're shortening the seasonal roads, or you're making them
Longer.
longer? They're closed long.
extending the no maintenance period
Okay.
by 1 month.
Got it.
So they're not closed, it's just no maintenance.
So it's okay.
Cause usually the 1st of April, there's still full snow.
Just mud pits.
Oh, it don't stop them.
So we do have a first and a second, if there's no further comment.
Why don't we just change it to May 1st? Why do we have to do, we did this
Have
last year.
something to do
In New York State, could be long.
I need to
with
finish
New York
it.
State,
Okay, I remember doing this last,
because I asked that too, and that's.
We do it every year essentially,
yeah, good.
and it's something that I think highway standards,
It's highway law,
Yeah.
that's where
it's
they,
April 1st is the
Yeah.
post.
Okay.
Any other questions?
It's actually from November 1st to April 1st, right? That's
December.
December 1st?
December
That was November
1st.
1st. But it works on both other end too. So, aye.
All right, if there's no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, Scott?
Next resolution, we'd like to go to 410s on, April 6th. Monday, April 6th, we'd like to start 410s. That works for you guys.
I would make a resolution to allow the highway employees to shift to 4 10-hour workdays starting on April 6th, 2026.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any additional comments? Questions?
Do we have enough daylight to,
What's that?
is there enough daylight to do a 10-hour day? And it seems early to me to start 10-hour days already.
This is my 3rd year, and I've started March 31st and April 1st, and this year's April 6th.
Okay.
The mornings are getting light, I mean, especially after, yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
We're still boom we started hauling gravel out of States' pit. We had a whole bunch that was made last year. That we were trying to get out so we can get set to go again. Changed some cloud blades. We got our new pickup, which I was supposed to park out here, and I didn't.
Related to the pickup truck, we need to declare which truck is surplus. P1. We need a resolution.
Make the resolution to declare P1 as surplus so you can put it on Auctions International. That's the plan.
Yep.
Well, second.
For the first and a second, any further comments? We're gonna have to work on getting figured out how to sign into Auctions International. And I don't know if it's even worth cleaning up that truck. But
We'll give her once over, but it is what it
yeah,
is.
exactly.
It's a 16. It's pretty tired. Actually, it don't run. I put cam sensors in it and they run. It run when I parked up there. Now it don't start.
Well, we have a first and a second. Any further questions about this? All in favor? Nobody opposed? All right. I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss potential property purchase by the highway department for no more than 15 minutes, and I'd like to invite Scott, and I'd also like to invite Josh into our executive session.
Well, second it.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
We will be right back.
I've paused the recording, but you are still live on Facebook. Just so you know, do whatever you want with that information. Scandalize away.
I know. Well. I tried to come here. That was like, I've never. No.
So.
I just feel like it's. I was watched so do so much, you know, I love him so much that I was.
There's the board.
She's supposed to take.
And this is value for the plus. That's just.
What am I gonna be?
You don't have a provision rate? And so from an assessment, the town takes all of these assessments,
I know.
all into a pot. And when it's slowly for $1,000. So she $4, she can do this, that she put thousands. So then 68,000 times $4. But look, here's what I got to the town. But like it's like stay.
No.
So you. It's on the
Still, they're, you know, it's just beautiful. It's right now. I don't even get that far from that. That sounds familiar.
Humble kind of animal.
So, they say, okay, your provision is the assessed your property, 60. So when you charge your tax, instead of paying 100,000. You're gonna need to change it based on. Or whatever it is, right?
Well, so the.
Anyway, your school rate goes up, you can, you're equalizing. So you started 100, you actually have to go to Next year, what do you say we assess?
Yeah.
Until you're at. Everybody. Always the real. So that's why I really don't look at it.
Spot. Pathway.
It's on. And it's.
Would honestly be better.
They're.
And then.
Looks nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Because the phones on the first our sense of
Yeah, make sure.
No. Let's say you have everybody. If you go up 25%, you're actually getting a little bit less than you pay. The lake is so fast. So your house.
Yeah.
My dad. So that makes sense, good for us, because our piece is small.
Same thing.
Their piece is big. So we, and yes, now, you would want. Because
That's like the concept. Yeah.
I don't know how to walk. You get seduction. You know.
And yeah, that's my, I like, I really don't want to. So go, so I do not watch. Like. Know that. So, no, maybe. Yeah, I didn't just.
So yeah. Fine, that's of course, there's.
Started working John, we're fighting our Bernie son. So I was very nice. And I actually and nobody, at all, so. She worked 2 jobs and, you know, I told her, I'm literally working. And then, Before I got here, I was like so sweaty.
I don't,
So just like the idea, like, oh my God, I was so much free time, and that lasted like 2 weeks. January, just our brewer, decided to move on, brewing. He's really busy, like, I last at home with him, and now he's gone, and then,
they were both
this
of us.
part of meditation. Now I do want help, but also. I know that you so it's just like these things.
Oh.
Yeah, no, eventually slow down. Scared, but they're moving pressure. Yeah.
But your guy has no line.
We used to have first time. He said. And then I started getting nervous. Having all the stuff, so. Going outside.
Yeah, I know, you got like everything built.
And then, they did probably sit. About all the mess. She was. You don't have just. She was fighting for a regulator writing out.
I ain't doing it, yeah.
So, yeah. But then, I think that's his face, your mommy's person.
Hey. How are you? So.
Yeah. Mommy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, no, she's out in Arizona. Yeah, so she's on vacation, I was a little bored. So
Can't play golf in the dark, you know?
I started watching you from that part elevator garden.
Oh,
You're bored.
I think she got us into a corner here.
no.
He did write it down. He said, I'm Kyle. I live on Sky. Oh, did we go to school together?
And we don't have to do.
Yes.
We also sometimes have it in 7.
Oh, well, I started
Was when.
walking at 97, so I think I knew. I know your crew. I hung out with Eric and Brian, one of those guys back.
Because.
Barnhart. I was a twerk though. I was a little, you know, 2 years younger. I was probably a freshman.
So.
Yeah. I remember the name.
Almost.
Sorry, that's 3 years then.
Weird. I just never felt like you back in every 7 years. But I am, and I love that. We committed on it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that's nice. That's nice.
That is so
I like
nice.
it.
The maintenance is. You're on Skyline.
We're on Sky.
You're gonna have them.
Yeah, so-
Oh, that's beautiful.
What's Hector?
I know.
Deep Hector.
Deep. Like
Hector. Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot, Hector.
Okay. Okay.
You're Hector. I was really. That. For that.
I get old time. I get old times thinking.
Otherwise,
We can just change that out of meeting. Sorry, Liz.
Alright.
Motion to return,
Return to,
motion,
I second the motion.
okay, first and second, all in favor? Oh, I thought we did that already. We need to do weight limit signs for the stone and oil.
You only.
No.
You voted.
I'll make a
on-
motion to approve.
Oh,
Allow
you did
Scott to put
approve?
up the weight limit signs for the stone and oil roads protected.
Oh, we skipped over it. I had it.
I second the motion.
Thank you.
We have a first and a second to post weight limits on the stone and oil roads.
There was a question while we were in executive session. Will items talked about in executive session be part of the minutes? And generally, it's when things discussed in executive session, we just give the category of that allows us to go into executive session. Eventually they will, but
Right.
but not immediately. But that was in regards to purchase for the highway department.
Yes, it will be public knowledge.
We have a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of posting the weight limits? Aye. All right, we're gonna move on. If there's nothing else for the highway department,
I think that was enough.
excellent. Thank you, Scott. All right, then we're gonna move on to
Thanks, Scott.
the water district.
All right, for the month of February, we pumped 5,600,000 gallons, it was roughly about 193,000 gallons a day. It was up because of our use and to fill our Golden Water Tower, which was pretty much empty the past couple of weeks until the repair made. Water testing, it's all currently up to date. I was waiting on a new sample schedule, but I actually received that today in an email, so our sample schedule for the testing was sent today. Monthly reports, all DOH reports and DEC, DMR reports are all sent. We've had no water turn-ons or turn-outs yet, but I'm sure we'll have some in the next couple of weeks. Backup generator, the backup generator is still currently down. We're still waiting on parts from Cummings. Last time they came out and serviced it, I think they hooked up the block warmer wrong, so it ran a battery dead on the generator, so they're going back out to see what they did wrong when they come and maintenance it. So when it's cold out, it has a generator or a heater on the block to make it start better when it's cold out, because it's a gas power generator, propane powered. So they came in, serviced it, they put a new black heater on it, and now the battery went dead. So we don't know if it's apparently just keeps running and just runs the battery dead, but they're gonna come out and take another look at it. The air compressors at the water plant, they're both maintenance. We're still waiting on parts for the other one too. That one's still currently down. They're supposed to come out for the next couple of weeks. The parts are in, but they sent us a bill, so I was gonna call and discuss that with them because they came out twice, they didn't have the right parts, and then they billed us to come back out to fix problems with theirs, let's fix theirs now, so. I don't think we should be billed for that, so I'm gonna give them a call and discuss that with them.
Please do.
Ball skids, all good working order. The filters are on their last lag. They were supposed to last probably 20 years. We're pushing 19 years, so. I'm gonna be looking at getting prices on new filter cartridges for the skid, and then possibly looking at getting another skid in the near future. Next couple of years or so, just. Cause this one's 20 years old, we're getting problems with it, so I'm gonna have Paul come down, go through it. Look at the filters and see what we need to do, take care of all those, see if there's any problems that need to be taken care of. Service trucks, they're both working great. Meter system is still working great. There's a few wire issues that we have. We'll be reaching out to customers the next couple of weeks for repairs on those. It's just either the wire was cut or the reader is underwater, so we just got to just go to the homes. Fix the wires, reprogram them, they should all be working well. But there's more than 15 that are in pits that are underwater right now because of the water table is so high, so they're not reading currently, but we're gonna see if we can either put them on posts out of the water or get some kind of different.
That's what I was gonna ask, is if there's an option to.
We'll see if we can get them out of the water with some kind of post out of it, as long as it's not in the front yard or something like that. So
Do they get broken when they go underwater, or do they just not transmit their readings?
the battery powered transmitter, so when they're underwater, it's not gonna work.
But then once it dries up, they'll work again, or they'll all need to be
We'll see.
repaired?
Sometimes they turn back on, sometimes they just gotta replace them.
Huh.
Lead and copper samples, I have 10 more to do. I was informed by DOH that 10 of my lead and copper samples were supposed to be taken from 10 other spots, but I wasn't aware until they made me aware of that a couple weeks ago. So I have to take 10 more lead and copper samples from 10 different spots, from the prior spots I took before, so. It's gonna take me probably a week or so, because I have to schedule 10 more people to take sample for straws in the morning, so. Just gotta get a hold of 10 more customers, water customers, and schedule them to do more lead and copper testing, but.
So far, so good, that's, everything's looking good, but we just gotta do 10 more just to cover us on the lead copper side, so hopefully I should be all taken care of from the next set of testing. Water service, we have a current one for Leidenfrost Road, Adams Leidenfrost. Waiting on DOT approval for road crossings, and we just had another bill for Adams Leidenfrost Road from a gentleman from France. He's bringing a winery, bringing a building over from Scotland on a boat.
France, I think
built
it's
it
from
here in
France,
Hector.
bring it over from France.
Yep.
France. So
But he wants to run the water off Leidenfrost Road and not.
No,
off
it'll be
of-
off.
it'll be off 414.
Oh, okay.
His property's right off the top of
Yeah,
the line.
yeah.
So they're gonna do two different bores under the road at the same time, to split the cost of the two owners. There's 3 more inquiries on services. There's one on Cherry Landing, 414, I just heard about. There's another extra house on Adams Lane, South Road, I got an email today, so there'll be another home down there getting built. And a possible another one on 414, so I'm just waiting to hear back from these guys.
So, but the one that we proved to have done. Excuse me, we're extending the water line past that house, correct?
Just to the house that we're extending it to, the one.
So if
that-
somebody builds to the west of that house, is that something they can
Nope.
petition the water? No, it's not part of the water
The
district.
agreement does not allow for them to. They would have to they would have to petition to us, it would be up to the board ultimately, if we choose to. Do that
Yeah.
again.
Same
Yeah,
process.
same process.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the guy with the winery wanted to come off that water line from my pressure, I said you can't do it because it's private water line. So we'll just wait to hear from them. I think we have at least 5 more services to put on this year, so. Water main repair, Artie Robinson was here 2 weeks ago to repair both places on Conroe 2. They did this by bringing their fishing machine in. We opened both sections up. We had over to Interlake in here and Joe Brown. So we had probably 3 crews. We had both holes open. Opened one hole, they were able to repair it, and then by the time we had the other hole open, they repaired the first one, went up to the second one, repaired that, and we had them both done in one day, so. The water was off maybe 3 or 4 hours. We did have to do the boil water. I just kept that on because I knew it had to be, it was gonna be another couple of weeks, but currently the boil water is off, the tower's half full, filling, everything seems to be working properly.
Also,
Now, I saw when the boiled water went on, I happened to see that notice, but I haven't seen, not that I'm actively looking for it.
It's off on Facebook. We have also learned recently how to, so we can make sure the push goes out. But the boil water was only for, it spelled out the area of the water.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I happened to see when it first said it was off, or the boiled water was active. And read about it and everything, but what I haven't seen is that, the boiled water is now,
It has been posted at least on the Facebook.
it has,
Yes.
okay. I just was, just saying that,
And I also called a bunch of people up there and emailed. But Jeremy and I are also gonna work on, with our upper system, we're gonna go knock on people's doors and get phone number information, stuff like that. So if anything ever happens, then we can actually reach out or have somebody reach out to all the customers in the upper system. There's only maybe 30, 40 up there, so. So it'll be us, we can call them, let them know what's going on, but hopefully we don't have any other problems like this in the near future, but you never know. So, special thanks to the highway for bringing material and, they're like an overwater department, Joe Brown for their assistance to complete this project in a day. And finally, DOH, I talked to them, it was during when we had all these problems, the lake was so low that we were having problems with our intake, our infiltration galley, because the lake was so low, so I was getting low alarms constantly. Finally, the lake has rose probably 4 foot in the past 3 weeks, so we're not having problems with that anymore, but they would like to come down and meet with us and discuss a possible intake on the lake for future water source, so.
I'd like to schedule that. We can discuss it when we meet Thursday, but I'd also maybe like to get a couple of people from the water board involved in the discussion.
Yeah, he's gonna bring down himself and probably higher up too, so we can just, on the same page with the grants and everything.
Excellent.
Get our foot in the right direction. We can still look forward on doing the well, but he thinks at this point we should just look for it to take out the lake. It's gonna be our next test. And
What about the well that's there that hasn't?
we'll have to just discuss that and see. If it's gonna, when I talked to him, 80 gallons a minute isn't a lot for us, for municipality. Cause we can only, 80 gallons a minute isn't much. Since our infiltration, we do 150 off. The other well, we're gonna have to probably look at cleaning that again. Because our GPMs are up and what we're getting in is not very good water, so. It probably happened during the drought because we've been sucking so much water out of the lake, but the water lake's been so low, I think we pulled a lot of material back into that screen, which we just cleaned 2 years ago. Well, when we put the new well pump in the well, so it was clean too, so. It's just stuff we have to look forward to, because I talked to Daryl from the watershed, and he was worried because we've never seen the lake this low. But I've been here 15 years, I've never seen that lake this low this year, so. I mean, when the infiltration goes, it's right now it's got 6 foot of water, and I was under a foot of water. In that tank, so I couldn't really pull any water out. My well was pretty much my backup at that point.
What a time to have a big leak, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of leaks, how did the Burdette?
For that, we couldn't fix, so we had to go assist over today because they had a blown line on their 8-inch water main, 6-inch pump, so they couldn't pump water to their water tower. So that was this morning. They called. We were all scheduled to do it this morning. Then Mike from Ovid called me and said they had a huge problem up there, so we went and assisted them. Because we can keep up with water, they couldn't even pump water, so we had to go help them. So we figured we'd help them. They came over 3 times in the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So we figured we'd go over and help them for once. We got it scheduled for next week to fix.
Okay.
We're all maintaining. It's just a little, we found another house leak actually, so it might lower our totals down from what I think is leaking. We found a house that was frozen and unthawed last week, so it sat there around probably 10,000 gallons a day. We shut it off. So that's about it for me.
I'd like to pull money from the repair reserve to cover the expense of what we just went through. $5,000 for the water main repairs and $6,000 for.
So I did have to get water hauled in from over because the tower was so low and I can pump water, so.
And when we do this, we have to pass a resolution and it is subject to permissive referendum. So we have to publish that we're intending to use water repair reserve funds to pay for the repair. So tonight, what we do is pass a resolution with that, announcing that intention. The clerk has to publicize it, and then we wait. And if there's not, there's a percentage of the population that lives in the water district that would have to come and demand a referendum. Otherwise, we can move forward and transfer the money from the repair back into where we paid for the lines this time.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions about this? Thursday, if you would, proper publication. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, I believe that's the last thing we have for you.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Josh. You've been good. I'll see you Thursday.
Couple of questions came in right at the end of highway, but
I saw that, and what I thought was we could, at the end, when it comes back, we'll answer those.
okay. Excellent.
And also I recognize the name. She's welcome to reach out to me directly and I can answer the questions as well.
Okay, great.
Jason has been out the last few days with the flu and he asked to be excused, which seemed to make sense to me. And so his code enforcement report was posted online, but long and short of it, he issued $170,548 worth of construction value permits. They completed $328,000 worth of construction value permits. And he collected $1,197 in the month of February. We have a couple other items. The new vehicle for codes has come in, and like move that we declare the previous code enforcement Jeep as surplus, and we authorize the clerk to post it on Auctions International.
I'll second your motion.
We have a first and a second. Any other questions or comments about this? Hearing none, all in favor? And then the last item is we do have the agreed upon wording for the intermunicipal shared services agreement with the village of Burdette. Jason did send, and I hope I have it right here, he did send an email endorsing this agreement, saying that he feels it's beneficial. They're looking for approximately 16 hours a month of his time, and they will be reimbursing us $400 a month, which the town will bill quarterly to the village. Basically, he's gonna go in there and provide code services. It's not the village of Burdette. Doesn't have a history of a huge amount of activity, so I always said 16 hours a month, which is not significant. And
Is he gonna monitor that timeframe so it
Yes.
doesn't get
yes, that is,
smoke creep?
that was an issue that we discussed. However, once again, as things stand right now, there isn't a lot of activity in.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing at this point, but I just think when start time rolls around, a lot more people are gonna. Be reflecting the services.
Not, a lot of what Village of Burdette has is groups, things like that, so that you don't feel huge amount of new construction. It's remodels, but he is pretty confident that that would be more than enough. If you look in the contract, it is, there is provisions for quarterly meetings between the supervisor and the mayor, as well as an annual review.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing for you.
Yep.
That should do it.
I make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the contract, the shared service contract with the Village of Burdette for code enforcement.
And a first and a second, any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
We did that on the Jeep.
Yep. Yep. All right, we're gonna move on to Smith Park. Mallory is unable to attend this evening. She submitted a report that we all have. However, I do have some updated numbers. Her and I met yesterday afternoon. And so our seasonal revenue to date now is $41,785. The transit revenue is $27,450. She has ordered 10 new fire rings and 2 large grills for each pavilion. It's 2 grills, one for each pavilion, excuse me. Hector Library would like to come in once a week throughout the summer to do arts, crafts, story time, or some kind of activity with within the campground. So we thought that was a great idea. We are looking for lifeguards. We have had a surprising amount of interest for only being February and into the beginning of March. But if people are out there and we are looking for additional lifeguards this year. Yesterday, the park committee walked the park with Will Jennings to do the forestry review, which we'll discuss shortly. And then what else is on our agenda? We need to pass a resolution to reappoint Jason Bond as our laborer. Anybody want to do that?
I'll do it. You got $1 per hour?
31.88 an hour for his 17th year of service at the park.
Second the motion.
We have a first and a second. Any questions or comments?
Are there dates attached to this?
We'll do, 3/2 through 12/31/2026, not to exceed 831 hours.
That's what I was gonna ask, because I know he is retiring.
Yep.
And he said yesterday that he was gonna be more available to do work on projects so there might be an increased request for hours as a result, so I just wanna make sure we had that on the.
Right now, it's 831 hours, so if we are getting close to that, we can discuss as a board to reevaluate that number.
This is for both parts.
Just didn't want it to be a surprise.
That's good, that's a good point. Yeah, that's for both parts, it's park labor. Alright, anybody have any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
I,
Aye. We have 3 refunds. As you can see on your board report, all of them are more than 30 days out.
Actually doesn't say that on the.
We have it on the, I'm just going in the order,
I found this.
okay, sorry. All right,
No, but
we
it doesn't
have
say-
a,
When.
She said there are.
we have,
That's small.
Fine print.
we're gonna,
Yeah,
we're
saw this,
gonna
but I didn't see that.
back up. I apologize, I went out of order, and we have a proposal to increase the boat launch fee from $5 to 10, and increase the seasonal launch from 35 to 40.
Okay, that's the thing I wanted to bring up in discussion. So. We proposed that in the committee meeting. And then after that, someone had brought up to me the idea of, instead of doing a boat launch fee, what if you did a parking lot fee for the boat launch area only? And I don't know what the implications of that are, but I thought it was actually kind of a good idea because it would be more enforceable. What the problem with the boat launch area is that there's always, in the peak boat launching season, there's also a lot of vehicles parked down there that people use that area instead of the swim beach, so they swim there. And then when the boat launcher, person out in the boat comes back to pull their boat out, there has been times where they get aggravated because they can't turn around, back up their trailer because there's too many cars down there blocking. So we've for years floated, how do you deal with this, signs, people don't pay attention to signs. Anyway, so it's just an idea that hasn't really been looked into yet, but the idea of charging $10 for parking down there.
To anybody?
To anyone who would, anyone would be parking, if they're parking down there, it's $10. I think the exception would be handicap. Then
I
the
mean,
parks.
not just non-boaters as well as boaters.
Correct.
There's only room for about three vehicles with their empty boat trailer to stay there.
I think there's 4 right now, and when that brush pile wasn't there, there was 5
Okay.
for
well,
trailers and trucks.
yes.
And then, right, and then usually on hot peak summer days, there could be 10 other cars trying to kind of cram in there.
Yeah, but people still putting their boat in, paid for putting their boat in, but couldn't park their trailer there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see where the revenue would work that way. To pay for parking. I mean, no, we haven't discussed this much yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something we can take
I
back
think
to
we
the
need
park
to
committee.
kind of, yeah.
I see
Well,
the
yeah.
value in it because it's enforceable. If there's no proof of payment, we could have you towed, which is a lot harder to do. It's about boat launch.
But if they pay to park, then you can't ask them to move their car out of the way of the boat lot.
That's
Well,
true as well.
I think one of the bigger issues is there's no defined locations for parking down there. It's wide open. So I'm the first one there. I pull my boat, my trailer down, and I start the process. Unless we can go to a point where you're gonna be real well defined areas, I don't see how anything you try is gonna stop people from parking in front of other people. And I don't know how we define the areas either, to make it more cut and dry. I do like what was one of the parts of the suggestion, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. Was we would put a ticket in the window, so at least we knew who had paid, and who hadn't paid, which was an issue before. Of all the people going down there. Maybe no swimming in that area might deter some of the people.
Wow,
going
that
there.
There is no swimming in that
Yeah,
area.
swimming
That's what I'm
area.
saying, so it's difficult right off the bat, you got 2 or 3 obstacles. I think we have to figure out before we can expect the public to,
Good luck on park committee.
yeah. I don't know.
Well, let's push this to the park.
Good luck with
committee
that park
for our
committee.
meeting
Yeah.
next week. We
Yeah.
can reevaluate, because we can change this in April, it's not a big deal. I think there was a comment also, somebody posted, maybe we should go back to only being handicap parking down there, which is an interesting concept.
Said not need an attendant at the boat launch. That would be one way to control it. Just
That's
have
been
somebody
discussed.
down there, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. yeah,
Have an attendant at the parking, at the boat parking.
These are all topics that have been discussed at length, but we can discuss it one more time if, and then make the final motion at the April meeting. Sound good?
Have we been able to arrange a way for people to pay,
No.
okay, with a QR code or with their credit card and?
Yeah.
Mhm,
It's all big.
Much more complicated than you think.
mhm, mhm.
For the paper trail and have it all clear for municipal record keeping, it's more complicated than you think.
Refunds.
Refunds. All these refunds are 30 or more days, so they get their refund on us for $30 reservation. And just so if there's no questions, the refund policy is posted on the bottom of your report.
Like, I'm sorry, are we not going to increase the boat launch? fee?
Not at this time. We're gonna
Okay.
review it go back to park committee, and discuss.
Okay,
That can be brought in front of the board, or that's just be park committee too.
Well, that'll be back, because anything changing fees, we have to discuss it further. We have to pass it as a board resolution. So we have 3 refund requests. They're all outside of their 30 days or more because it is only start of March. We have Christina Gross for $630, Stacy Givala for $30, and Elaine Murray for $165.
I move we give them the refunds.
You second the motion.
We have a first and second. Any further questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All right, now we were able to flip in the proposal
She attached all these.
from Finger Lakes Forest Management, who has historically been our forester for Smith Park. And we have a proposed tree maintenance. There's 2 different activities it's broken down to. Proposed activity number 1, take down and process 18 hazardous trees, prune 70 trees, grind 7 priority stumps, and then take down and chip numerous smaller trees in conjunction with phase. Cost of this activity is $19,000. This is in line what we have historically paid for this service on an annual basis. I don't know, if Mark or Rebecca, you want to comment further on this?
Yeah, it's technically, it's a little more than 19,000, because it's include the 1,600 that's on the bottom.
I was gonna bring that up as the second proposed activity to grind 9 more.
Because I'm looking at it from the standpoint, it should all be done. In my opinion, we walked through it yesterday, there's a lot of hazardous limbs. There's some trees that are definitely questionable at best. And if we have any type of issue with people camping there under those trees, I think it's gonna be a lot more than this money. I think this is money well spent, in my opinion.
Yeah, we spent 6 hours with him yesterday, looking at everything. It's in his typically thorough, conscientious, knowledgeable way. It was a very good, walkthrough. And so I don't have any problem with what he has here for.
Seems pretty reasonable. With one tree coming down, it's $3,500.
I believe you do a lot of work in an hour down there with the right equipment.
Yeah,
Once you get set up, that's the bigger issue.
so is there any opposition to adding on the additional $1,600 for additional stump grinding?
Yeah, it was kind of part of that was when we started hearing about what, someone who firsthand has rented a stump grinder and tried to grind stumps and it's a lot, it seems like it'd be while he's there with his grinder, have him do the ones we need done, and it'll be much faster and, it just seemed like
It's just done.
it's to get it done and then it's just kind of people who rent the stand-up stump grinders and, bring them in. They spend a lot of time and effort and salt on their own bodies trying to run them.
Well,
So,
Some of the stumps too are real small but they're nuisances, but the 5 that we gave him, 2 of them were just giant.
oh, I know, but
So
still, he's right there and he can just run up and zip it off and.
Yeah, and then maybe the little ones.
I mean, cause he looked at he looked at all of them that were flagged and we told him which ones were the priorities, so. That's why he gave us a second activity of also adding those stumps that aren't the
Oh.
priority
Okay.
for $1,600 and. So they'd all get done.
The thing you gotta be careful of too is, if you own a camper and you try to back one in, you're not necessarily looking for stumps when you're backing up, so if you end up tearing the bottom of the camper or pull an axle off as a result. Something to that effect, it's an issue, so.
That's definitely concerning, and why we've been trying to catch up with these stumps for quite a long time, and we're finally beginning to catch up with a lot of these stumps that have been in terrible places.
We heard stories of,
So I'll entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to, go for the full 20,600 for the Finger Lakes Forest Management timber harvesting. The hazardous trees pruning, grinding, and wood chipping, including the non-priority stumps.
First and second, any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Rebecca, you'll let them know that we approved everything?
Yes.
Mech Park,
Yay! It was a beautiful day the last couple of days. We had people at the park both days, pretty late. Which probably signs would be good at some point in time to say closes at dusk, even though there's been no issues, no problem. We're getting the porta potty back in April, which the friends of are paying for. We've got some big plans for 2026, bridge build, pavilion build. Maybe music in the park, who knows? I'm not sure. We're getting a butterfly bench brought to the park. Becca, the secretary of the not-for-profit, wrote for a grant from the community arts group. And was given it, and the Arc Barn, she's collaborating with the Arc Barn, and they're gonna make a metal like butterfly bench to have out there. It's a really pretty sweet spot. The bridge build is hopefully gonna be happening in April, doing the footers and then building the bridge. Mark your calendars, Tulip Trot, May 2nd, 10 a.m. If you wanna sign up, guys who are visiting the board. You can follow us on Facebook, mecklenburgcommunitypark.org or com or something, just Google it, you'll find it. We're looking for volunteers and volunteers and participants. We expect this year we're gonna have more people. All participants are gonna get a wildflower seed pack just for registering. It's gonna be amazing. The pollinator garden is looking beautiful. The pavilion built. Part of the profits of the Tulip Trot, we're hoping are gonna go towards the floor for the pavilion. We're looking for an aesthetically pleasing, kind of artistic looking, beautiful build. no shame on Havana Glen Pavilion or even Smith Park. I do love Smith Park, but we do not want just concrete, just like boring gray concrete for the flooring, but more like beautiful stamped, like the president of our not-for-profit has a really beautifully stamped concrete, which is more costly.
So where?
What was the question?
Where did you say?
For our pavilion that we're building.
No, I know, you just
Oh,
said
and
something.
our president's home. She has a
Okay.
beautiful,
Got it.
it's, if you know anything about stamped concrete, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I do,
You
I'm
can-
just, I thought you were putting out a public
Oh,
space
no,
that
not
has
a-
an example of it.
No, don't go visit,
I
but
just didn't hear.
just saying, if you come to the Tulip Trot and promote it and put up posters and all the things. Support us, that will be part of what that goes towards is making the flooring for the pavilion more beautiful. At this point, the pavilion size is gonna be like 16 by 32 feet. It's gonna be, if you're looking at the play structure, the location for the pavilion is gonna be there to the right, kind of. So it's gonna be really convenient for families if they want a picnic and their kids are gonna play. It's gonna be pretty sweet. And we as the not-for-profit are doing it all. It's no cost to the taxpayers. So we're doing lots of awesome things out there. If anybody's that's watching wants to come be a part of it. The next meeting for our pollinator garden is March 22nd, 12:30 at the park. Reach out to the park email. I think that's it. Any questions?
Thanks, Mia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
out. Awesome, thank you.
All right, let's move on to the town clerk / tax collector. There it is. Oh, yeah.
Okay. There's a couple things, probably gonna go out of order. So I printed out the email that I received, it's for the parade. That happens kind of following the Hector Family Fair. They're asking because it's the 250th birthday of America, that they would like us to participate. Whether that's some type of float, some type of just doing something, and they want all of the village of Hector employees, so like Josh and Jeremy, all the highway boys if they're willing, codes, Mallory, park employees, all the office employees that are here. So I guess I'm just asking what your guys' thoughts are, if I should do this, if this would be something that we could all make happen, or I'm giving him as much advance notice as I can.
Love it. Did you send an email out to the department heads?
I haven't, because I kind of wanted to feel out where you guys were beforehand, and then if you guys kind of were like, we can try to make it work, or let's like kind of discuss it at the next one and see who we could get to participate via that way, or if you like
Right. I would start by emailing folks and seeing if there's any interest in the building. Wouldn't you think
Okay.
that'd be the way to do it?
Okay.
And see, maybe one contribution from the town is a
Right.
thing that might be. Yeah.
Okay. I did talk to her in person and she said you should definitely do it, and I said, I'll run it by the board. We'll see. The water report, the grand total for the receipt was $40,095.67. The end of the month balance is $65,536.03. And then what was paid to the supervisor this month was $1,744. That is a mix of the $457 that we got from the dog licenses and $80 that we got from the certified marriage and birth and death certificate copies. And then the $1,197 from the building permits. And I have a tax report. So, the outstanding and full payment that we still need to get is $903,061.56.
But how much you collected so far?
We have collected $6,419,571.48.
So she's been busy, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah. And then, I need a couple resolutions. I hired a deputy. He started March 2nd. So his name is Daniel. He likes to go by Dan. He started again March 2nd at the rate of $18.25. And his appointment is through the end of my election term, which is December 31st of 2028. We discussed a raise after his notary was obtained. His notary license was obtained, so whenever that happens, that'll all go through June, and that would just be 50 cents.
Congratulations, how exciting.
I'll make the motion.
I second the motion.
We have a first and a second. For the appointment of Daniel. What's his last name? Ely, that's right. At a rate of $18.25 effective March 2nd, with a raise of 50 cents once his notary licensing is complete.
There's a cap on the number of hours. It's not,
That's a full-time.
it's full time.
Yeah.
And
First and a second, any further questions or comments?
is Diane still, do you still have extra help? Or,
Lori, I have Lori until the 29th of March.
okay, and Diane is help for tax season, which she's done now.
Yes,
That
her appointment was only until the end of February, but if I couldn't find someone by the end of February, you would have just extended her.
nice.
If there's no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
And now the next couple of resolutions are,
I need to appoint him for the vital records statistics as well. So I need your guys's please for that.
so we need to resolve to appoint Daniel Ely as Deputy Vital Records and Statistics from 3/2/26 through 12/31/28.
I second your motion.
We have a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Next, he's also we have to resolve to appoint Daniel to attend. We don't have to do this, but we would like to, she would like us, and I think it's well worth it, to authorize his attendance on the hotel lodging for the annual clerk conference in Albany from April 19th to 22nd. We've already authorized her to attend, but since she has a clerk now, I think we should send him as well.
Agreed, second the motion.
First and a second. Any further questions or comments?
Who covers when they're both gone?
We will close.
Well, close, okay.
So we'll be closed that the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we will reopen that Thursday. But I think that it would be really good for us, since we're both new to this,
Mhm.
that we can, if one of us kind of like, is just like, and then you'd be like, no, like, so just piggyback off of each other.
Yeah, that's
So-
great.
We have first and a second. If there's no additional questions, all in favor? Dumpster day. Do we have thoughts on dates for dumpster day?
Oh, I didn't know it was a thing you had to bring a date to. Oh, man.
That would be more help.
More the merrier, you know.
When did we do last?
Just looking, it was June
It
7th.
was June 7th?
Yeah, first Saturday in June.
June 6th would work for me.
What did you say, June 6th?
That's no, because that's the library's doing a rummage sale that weekend. 5th and 6th, and they'll be using the fire hall.
The fire.
We don't use
Fire,
use the law.
but a swap meet does, don't they?
Last year we did it outside.
Yeah, we did that.
You bet.
That worked great.
So
So
that
that
might be beneficial.
it should be good, yeah. Get people at the rummage sale too.
June 6th is our wedding anniversary, so I don't have
Yeah.
anything special.
Just bring your date, Mark.
What do we do for hours?
It's 8 to 2, or is it 8 to
No.
3? What's that?
9.
Is it 9? Okay, 9
Nine.
to
Well, people show up at 8, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
supposed to be 9 to 3.
9 to 3.
Do we need to check with the, I mean, I guess if we know there's a rummage
we-
sale, I just know they were really booked up at the fire hall, they were telling me. They've got a calendar and it's like really booked.
Well, I can check with let's say tentatively June 6th. See if
Yeah.
I left mine in the office. I will check with the 2 fire chiefs.
And
You just said you weren't gonna need the fire hall. What do you need?
Well, we still have
It's
to
not a thing.
You have to get permission to
we
use
have to
it.
get permission to use the field, and we also have
Oh.
to get permission from Mecklenburg Fire
Okay.
Department.
The library won't need the field.
we should get a time.
Yeah, I will talk with Scott. We have highway committee next week. We can discuss it then.
The comment says that rabies clinic is that day. I don't know where the rabies clinic is, but
Here?
that I don't know. Yeah. Which rabies clinic?
And we also have to find out about dumpster availability, period.
Right. Should we pick a second date just in case, or? I just hate to have to wait a month if,
I think that's typically what has happened in the past.
I mean, usually it's worked
One
out.
date, and then Jane would always have a second date, just.
Yeah.
Check everything.
Yeah. Hector Fire Hall, oh, rabies clinic and a rummage sale. That seems,
Wow, that's a lot going on.
What time is the rabies clinic?
I don't know. Do you know what time the rabies clinic is, Christina? But I think that a rummage sale is like all day, so I can't imagine the rabies clinic.
Yeah, that
Geez.
wasn't brought up when we set that.
Yeah, unless
date.
they're doing one like in the
I'm saying that
truck
was the
bay.
date that was set at, or talked about at the last library meeting, general
Hmm.
meeting, so. If there is.
Well, anyways, let's just check with the fire halls.
Yep.
Should we,
Great.
for the rabies clinic?
And
No, thank you. It's 10 to 12.
Potentially we can,
Should be a
Should-
reading circus.
yeah,
Yeah,
One-stop shop.
well,
you bring your
You
date.
could put the swap meet, you know, the booths for the food.
This is also-
booths for the Hector Fair.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Kind of a fun space.
that's.
Last year, we just set a 10 up, right? Like where everybody drives by it, because it felt like people saw
Okay.
the stuff.
If the 6 don't work out, you wanna push it to the 13th? Cause we'll wanna do it on the 30th, and I think the 23rd is too early.
23rd is Memorial Day weekend, 30th.
Oh, you mean
is-
May? Uh-huh.
30th is actually after Memorial Day weekend.
Is it?
Yeah, this year Memorial Day is the 25th,
That's crazy. Oh,
so it could be the 30th.
could be.
We wouldn't just want to do, if the 6th doesn't work, the 13th.
Or we could do that too, but 13th is Father's Day weekend, which would be the cardboard boat regatta,
Mm.
which could irritate people.
We can do it the 30th and as long as it ain't Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, the 6th is our hope for date.
Yeah,
But it
But
is
the-
crowded in Hector with the fire department.
well.
Well, I mean, we'll leave it up to them if they're gonna tell us. I mean, again, like, there's two different driveways.
I'd rather do the 6th.
I mean, and the other thing about it is not just the Hector Fire Department, it's the town hall and it's also Mecklenburg, so it's, you
Mhm.
know, it's,
Moving parts.
there's all of us.
Are we agreeing that if it can't be the 6th, that we'll shoot for May 30th?
I guess so, yeah. So Justin, do you contact
I
the
do,
dumpster companies as well?
I do that and check the fire departments.
So the dumpster day flyer I already did. Do you know Canva?
I do.
So what I'll do maybe is recreate it in Canva and just send it to you, and then it's a really easy graphic design program. You could run it at some point. It's handy to know, but
Oh,
You got
I
one
can,
eye
I
up
can,
there right
read
now.
it. I can show it to you.
it's super easy. But if you have a flyer, then every year you can just change things.
We just update the date basically, and if there's anything new or different that we can.
Because sometimes we have a shredder and sometimes we don't.
Yeah, oh, the shredder, with all them.
And make sure it says electronics only accepted at Reynoldsville.
Yes.
Mhm. And if we're using highway folks in Hector, I think and they're only staying for 3 hours, whatever. I think later in the day is more helpful than earlier. Like last year, they came like 9 to noon, but
What's the, is it just money why we wouldn't have them there for all 6 hours?
Pay them overtime.
I actually don't think we need them though, because
And that end of day last year was.
So that's what we were saying, is having them for the end of the day if possible.
I feel like they're most helpful that in terms of like shoving stuff in that's sticking over the top at the end of the day. And like they left like at noon, but I was like, I actually didn't feel like we needed them. Like if we were only getting for 3 hours, it would have been more helpful to have them later in the
Noon to 3
day.
instead of
Yes,
9 to noon.
yes.
That's what we're saying, which I think you're saying also.
I was saying all day.
Well, we can discuss it with,
Well, you could, if they could split it up, at least you'd have one person all day.
that's a possibility, yeah.
I feel like with those dumpsters we had at VLH last year, they were all 8 feet tall.
Mhm.
And over.
But with the door open in the beginning of the day, people can just walk stuff right in.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like at the end of the day when they're.
They take a
when the
photo
door's
over there?
closed.
Yeah.
They did last year. That was the first time they've ever done that.
That was great.
Bill used to sometimes bring his tractor, which was not as big, but he'd use it at the end
I'm
of the
sorry,
day.
we
like-
never had a loader before.
No, we never did. He would sometimes bring his tractor in the bucket, would smash stuff down at the end of the day, but it was not as big.
Like crazy too. With
No.
flooding.
Oh, it was wet. It had rained so much, there was water everywhere.
It's a lot.
Mhm.
Cars stuck and stuff like that.
All right, we have some dates and now we're gonna move on to the supervisor's report. And the first thing we wanna do, we have our friend George online waiting for us. We wanna take George off the mute so he can discuss the comprehensive plan continuation. Thank you, George, for coming this evening.
Oh, thank you.
Up.
And
Maybe turn your volume up,
This is
yeah.
exciting.
Trouble hearing you, George.
Volume 12. Accessibility shortcut, volume 70 items, voice guide, on.
Try now. We might be able to hear you. Our volume is turned way too low.
okay, I'm not sure. You're having trouble hearing me?
No, you're fine now. Go ahead. No,
Okay.
you're fine now. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, George.
Okay, well, thanks for your patience with me. It was we got stuck in Boston an extra 20 minutes, so had to sort of rush to be here before you guys adjourned. But we're here. Yeah, again, we're here talking at Cornell about, how to finish up with Hector, helping you do the sort of a public discussion of the draft comprehensive plan. That we did not quite get to that last spring. And so what I'm proposing is sort of pick up the project again. I've got 4 students who are really interested in working with you guys. And the first step would be go over the plan, with the committee, make sure you guys are at least comfortable enough with, taking it to the public for a public discussion. And then sometime the middle of April or so, the students would present the plan at a Saturday or a weekday evening meeting, a presentation. Be the first time we can inform the public about it and start getting their feedback. Sorry?
Go ahead. Our TV froze, but you're fine now.
Oh,
You're fine
okay.
now.
Okay. And again, the students will make the presentation, and I want to really emphasize that it will be their plan, not yours. Okay, because again, you need to hear from residents about what they think about our plan before moving forward, or again, backwards and revising it and bringing it back. So that is my proposed plan here, if you think it's a good one.
That sounds good to me.
Good to me.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable, great. Seems reasonable, great.
Yeah, and
Maybe we all should talk at once.
There's an echo on our end.
Yeah, okay, I hear it too, so. Yeah, it's. The idea is, get the plan out there for the discussion and even continuing this discussion through the summer and even the fall until people are, and discuss, revise until people are comfortable with it. Okay. And I'll be on call through December to help you guys with that.
That sounds great. Awesome. Sounds great. Awesome.
Okay. Well, again, unfortunately, the students were asking if they could be here tonight, but we'll hold off and maybe they can come to the meeting, the April meeting. They want to see what town government looks like in America. So
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll get them going on. I'll get in touch, I guess, with you, Liz. I don't know who else wants to be involved in the next month to go over the plan, review it and revise it. Between now and the mid-April, then make the presentation. So.
Excellent. Stay in touch, please.
And then Justin, how many days public notice do we need to give before that meeting? 10 days?
I think 10 days.
Okay, right.
So once we pick a date, we'll have to make sure we have the appropriate public notification time.
Okay. Yeah, that's right, public notification. So anything else?
I don't think it this time. I don't think it this time.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun on the 28th, bouncing around Hector. And so again, the idea is the students get a good look at the community and the landscape, etc. So, and so, okay, well, if you don't have any questions, let you guys get back to work. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
Okay, yep, good night.
Okay.
Volume 17.
Only a couple things left. One, we've already touched on this, but the state's presenting on Monday at 10 a.m. to us as the board. And this is a reminder that Thursday we have our annual audit meeting at 2 o'clock. And then before we go back into executive session to cover one last topic, there was the one question about highway that I wanted to revisit.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to read it again or?
Sure.
Hang on, gotta scroll back up. When does the highway department discuss the dust oil plan? Would like to request dust oil again on Shumway Road from top to bottom, even though work on ditches messed it up. It was a massive improvement to have the whole length dust oiled. Really appreciated the help from Justin and Scott on the road.
We can address that. You're welcome to come back and attend a highway committee meeting. The next one will be next Thursday, the 19th. You're welcome to attend that. Otherwise, I believe the plan is to dust oil some way from one end to the other again this year. But you're welcome to come to the highway meeting and express your desire to the highway committee. And with that being said,
I had one question about the audit meeting. I didn't actually see it on the website.
it isn't on the website
Okay,
unintentionally.
okay,
Um,
just checking.
I started.
unfortunately.
It's not usually a very well attended public meeting.
We discussed it, we scheduled it on public meeting, but that one. There's
How long do you typically last?
2 to 3 hours. And
Yeah, that's
I don't want to throw you under the bus, but there's been some growing pains as we've gotten used to the new rhythm. Everybody's trying to do their best and you're doing a great job. And, you know, so we're happy to have you back here sitting up and walking again. So we will get better with the communication.
I can get that on the calendar.
Yeah, so we can throw it on the calendar.
See if we got an update on it tomorrow.
Did you guys do the recycling?
Not yet.
It's because it is on the calendar, I'm just remembering that from last year, I don't know why it doesn't get taken down, but it says April 11th, Thursday recycling returns. I noticed this like a month or so ago, and I was like, that's interesting. So anyway, that's a calendar from, like, both from last year.
That should come off.
That should come off because I don't think we're ready. We haven't even discussed that with the recycling.
And that's not a Thursday.
No.
Okay. Where's that? He stole my patterns, Pat.
Thank you, Jess, for bringing that to our
Yeah.
attention. And then if there is nothing else, I wanna make a motion that we move to executive session again to discuss a pending legal matter.
Second it.
We'll be going into executive session for 15 minutes.
I'm going
First and
to
a second, all in
Yeah.
favor?
pause the recording, but live on Facebook if you're gonna be chit-chatting in the audience.
Get back.
It's not on the calendar, it's on the latest news.
Yeah.
So the
I just need
recycling.
to add- Oh, well, the annual financial agent, I have on here that it is on the recall.
The recycling notice from last year is on the
Right,
latest.
the financial audit meeting you're on for, you said it wasn't.
That should come off though.
No, I don't know about financial audit meeting.
That's a different one.
No, Liz said that.
Oh,
This one's on there. Don't worry about it. That one's in the latest.
Yeah, so
news.
just look at the latest. Jane only put a couple of things on there last year, so I don't know how you must just have to check them off or something. I don't know how it works.
Smash it off.
Why don't they use more of the calendar daylight savings time to the fallback time? Why don't you just set them? You know what I mean? Some of these things like the 4 10-hour days for the highway, start in daylight savings time, end them when it ends. Recycling on Thursday starts with daylight savings time, ends with the.
I think it has something to do with, like the snow, like I think we're getting snow next.
But we could get snow in May.
Right,
After the
but
canal in a blizzard. Yeah,
there was snow on Mother's Day one year, but I think
Yeah.
it's just.
I know, it's just that it would be easier for the public to remember, oh, daylight savings, I looked it up today. I didn't check the calendar to see if the 11th was the right date. But I said the 11th, so I said, oh, middle of April, it moves, I can go Thursday night. I could have shown Thursday night.
I think it's too, let's see that. Daylight at the end of that.
Yeah, I don't know, it just seems like there's an easier way to help
Yeah.
the public remember, oh, we just switched to daylight savings, now we can go Thursday night.
No, that's a good point.
Same with the 10-hour days. Because what they didn't do with the 10-hour days to me is set an end date. they approved 4 10-hour days, but for how long?
Right.
You know, what's the end date? They could have done it all in one resolution, or whatever they call it. Yeah. Yeah. Now you gotta do another resolution to end it.
Yeah.
So we're not supposed to ask any questions during the meeting, right? Only that 10 minutes at the beginning.
You can shoot your shot off. Dry.
Cause I was gonna ask him when does the 10-hour days end, but I didn't kind of dare. It would have been a good time to do it
I
right.
mean, you can always ask, it's not gonna hurt. And it is a question about something that happened.
Yeah. Oh. How are you baking the corn, neighbor? I'm doing okay.
Wait.
We're waiting for Mark to sign my petitions.
What petition you got going? Come on.
Phil Paul, son of,
No, I'm not. No, I have to check my dad's grave every once in a while, make sure he hasn't turned over in it. Here's how I got to be where I am. I registered Republican for many years until someone made a decision about something that I hold near and dear as a woman. And so I tried to write down one day when I was taking my mother shopping, and she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Gotta go in to the election." So what are you doing? I said, "I'm gonna be a nothing." So I went to be a nothing. And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Because I can't stand what George Bush just did, blah, 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 blah." So on the way home, I pulled into the Union Cemetery of Hector and drove by my dad's spot, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Checking to make sure that the house is still up."
He hasn't risen.
Cause he was tried and true Republican.
Oh, yeah.
And so then I just went down to, when I retired from my job, to become a poll watcher. And I walked in and they said, "Well, you probably won't be called much because you're nothing." I said, "Okay, what do you need?" "Well, we need Democrats." I said, "Well, I can be a Democrat."
Yeah, you better stop down. You better.
So who was in there but Swift? Yeah, Randy. And he sat there and I said, "Randy, I gotta stop by the cemetery on my way home, make sure it's still level." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Oh, my dad will really roll over on this one, because this is worse than a nothing." In the town of Hector, being a Democrat is worse than a nothing. So I'm a Democrat because that's what they needed. But I wrote my conscience.
I was gonna say,
I vote the way.
the only thing, I mean, the only thing it really does is you have a say on who are the candidates. I mean, anybody can vote for anybody.
Yeah, yeah. And believe me, I have.
No, of course. Yeah, but we all.
Oh, yeah. And right now, I'm not excited about war. I am, gotta tell you, I'm just not excited about war. And if it goes to boots on the ground, I'm really gonna be not excited.
Well, there was many before that had a chance to change it, they didn't.
My, when we sent my older brother off, I was in junior high and he went to Vietnam. That was the hardest morning.
I bet.
to change, I would never do that again. That's why I would send him to Canada next time. Sorry, John, see you in Canada. He went and he came home, but it's just, why are we doing this? We gotta learn to live together, holy moly. Well, they certainly weren't doing that over there. No, they weren't. We had to do something, but I'm just, it's like sending in troops is real different. I think that's gonna be a last report. So yeah, I'm a Democrat for right now, because that's what we needed. You can be whatever you want. Yeah, and my dad was still level, so. You have to do a class or anything? Yes, oh yeah, we had to go down and take off. I think we were there 5 or 6 hours. And then they told me that they probably wouldn't need me this year because everybody got all signed. And then it wasn't 2 days later that they called me and said, we need you in Watkins. I said, okay. And then over there, you have, no, you can do half sessions or you can do all sessions. So they just called me to see what I wanted to do during primaries. And I said I would do any place that they needed me in Schuyler County. I'll go any place. And I preferred an all-day session. I'm gonna get up early and just try to do it. And so she said, okay. And I said, I'll do any number of days that you want. I guess you're preference. You have to have 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. Oh, okay. Up in the front, and if they can't get Republicans or Democrats, then they will fill in with an independent, but you don't get used as often, I guess. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Well, you can go with 1 and 1 if you have to. Yeah, they were, so in Watkins, they had the Town of Dix 1 and Town of Dix 2. So we had 6 people there. 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, and you have to set every other one. There are a lot of rules. Every other one, and when you sign in somebody, you both have to agree, the Democrat and the Republican, and then if somebody wants if they don't meet the standard and they want to do a ballot. Affidavit. We have
I'm chairman of
people that
that.
sign it, yeah. I'm chairman of that. So you're a good person, I will never be a chairman, that is too complex. I just run a tight ship, there ain't gonna be no BS on my watch. If you can believe it. It was a pretty slow year this year, because it wasn't any big. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good year to learn it. There might be some primaries, but they were very strict on that. Oh, yeah, so you gotta run, gotta pay attention and run a tight ship, that's very important. But it was fun. Well, the thing about down there, or anywhere on this side of the lake, you know, I know a lot of people, so I know a lot of people when they come through the door. If you work someplace like, now I couldn't imagine working in like Rochester or Buffalo. And not knowing anybody in the area, that's. Well, right now, a lot of people come in thinking they had to get proof. You know, like a license. They come with anything, they come with a license. Yeah. The yellow card that they mail you. Yeah, it's really, and we said, no, tell us what your street address is, you know. It was interesting. And I didn't know hardly anybody in Watkins. If it were here, it'd be really different. Here they took a lot of them away in Southern Mecklenburg. Yeah, they did. So my whole family came here. Yeah, I was here a couple times. We're the only ones now. Now, I'm the only one that comes here. Everybody. Yes, they moved a lot of them to, when they redistricted. I think they told me, I don't know if the story is true, but Dale James refused to vote in Mecklenburg. He stopped voting. We lived right across the road from here. You know, we had to draw it someplace in. We took it away. Yeah, I used to have a race with my sister Judy to see which of us got here first thing in the morning. And my husband and I would get up early, bring our daughter down, she'd vote, watch us vote. We tried to be here at 6 o'clock, right when they opened, we were the ones right after the people sitting up there, you know? And
That's the
then,
best time to vote, first thing in the morning.
and we always brought our daughter, because we wanted her to, and my dad was, the minute you were voting age, you voted. It was a big deal in our family. Okay. Oh, I was teaching them in school now, the teachers, and it was just. You know, where it's supposed to. Yeah, if you don't use it, it will be taken away. I have no doubt. You need to use your vote, absolutely. And then learn to live with the outcome. That's nice. A number of years ago, presidential election, it came when they were. So the guy didn't win that you wanted to win, but you forgot all about everything till the next one. Now it's 365 for 4 years. It is crazy, and it used to be bipartisan, that you can name the people that cross the aisle to talk to each other and figure things out, and it doesn't. Well, they figured it out. Doesn't have. The fact that some of the Democrats did not even go to the State of the Union, that's wrong. That's part of your job. Yes, it's wrong. And then you don't stand up with some of those military people getting their awards. That's wrong. I'm sorry, but that's wrong. That's not sending a message to Trump. That's sending a message to the world. It's just disrespectful. My father wouldn't have been there. Nothing else we were taught to respect certain things. We're back.
You're going that way.
This is the end.
We'll return back to the session first.
All
Motion to
right.
return to executive session.
Mike made a motion to return from executive session, which I will second.
Okay, we have first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Please motion to adjourn.
Well, we have one last thing. We need to make a motion about what we discussed. It has been brought to our attention, our long-term employee, Lori Landon, is retiring on
March
March 27th after more than 20 years of service. And our standard policy pays out for vacation time that's unused, but not personal time. However, the reason she's unable to use her personal time is she is spending time here helping our new clerks get on their feet. And it would not be beneficial for us to have her use the personal time. And so there has been a request to pay her for the personal time that she has instead of losing it. I think it's a good show of faith by the town board and an appreciation of her hard work and her continued hard work and helping get the new clerks on solid footing. And so I would like to make a resolution that we authorize the payout of her personal time, which equals the equivalent of $696.92 upon her retirement.
Also good.
The first and second, any further questions or comments?
Thanks for the work, Lori.
Yeah.
Really, thank you for all the work, Lori. We appreciate it. No more questions?
I'll
All
make a
in
motion to
favor?
adjourn.
Wait, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do a card, flowers, or any,
We should definitely do that.
somebody gonna arrange that?
I can't.
She
doesn't see
Right, awkward.
Um,
Awkward when you share an office.
Now,
Those flowers
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second,
all right,
go.
thank you all.